Hey everyone, Coach Perry, Coach E. Orth down in Jacksonville, episode 5 of the QB1 Experience podcast. Got a great episode tonight. Our boy Pat decided to take a golf trip, told us to take a hike, and it's just me and Evan tonight, and we're going to be breaking down a new venture that we've got coming out here in just a short amount of time. Our hope is to launch early in May. We'll dive into it more. Evan, what's up, bro?
Hey man, let's go. I'm ready for this convo tonight. Ready to kind of reveal a little bit about what we have kind of come up with this curriculum and see where it lands. You know, maybe if you've been following us on YouTube or Instagram, you've kind of got a little bit of a glimpse of what that might look like, but very small, very small glimpse. So definitely excited for the convo tonight.
Yeah, no, I am too. It's something that was broached. The subject was broached to us, what, 2 years ago,
Yep.
about doing something like this. But it makes sense because if you look at the way of the world, we were just talking about AI and the capabilities. And I was at the airport today. I'm in Colorado for a business venture, and I'm sitting here watching all these people, and everybody is on their phone. Everyone, whether I was in the Denver airport, Raleigh airport, Eagle Airport in Vail, Colorado, it didn't matter. Everybody was on their phone. And so when you think about offering coaching and training services over the internet or over a mobile app, it makes perfect sense. And I think the other thing that gets us really fired up is we're blessed, and the kids that we live near they're so blessed because they get all the wealth of knowledge that we've learned through our career. But there are a lot of kids across the country that don't have that. And there are a lot of kids that are training with guys that should not be coaching quarterbacks. They've never taken a meaningful snap at any level of football. And they're out here sitting there teaching form, and they're just basically regurgitating what people like us put out on social media.
Yep.
And they're actually ruining kids' lives. And this is an amazing opportunity for us to put together a curriculum that not only differentiates ourselves from anything else that's being offered right now in our country, but we know that if this is followed intently in the reoccurring content that will be uploaded from me, you, Patrick, our other coaches within our network, they're going to have continuous growth. They're going to show continuous improvement in order to hopefully they reach the level that we got. We got to play in some great places. We got to play in front of some great crowds and have some great moments. And our dream is to have other kids that we have an impact on get to do the same.
Yeah, no doubt. And I think the biggest thing with what we're trying to provide is development of players, right? That is the key of what we are doing. And so this is a way to, like you said, get in front of athletes, quarterbacks that do not have quarterback coaches around the world. Like they don't have people in their cities or even states that do it and also do it correctly. And they know the elite level of coaching, not because we're Mr. Elite, but because we have been taught by some really great coaches, and we have taken a snap. So we have experience as our helper in training and developing quarterbacks. So I definitely am very excited. I know this program is not going to be just the typical coverage ID and how you can throw better. We are going to really try to incorporate the holistic view of the quarterback and build them up from start to finish. I know that I was just at a training session today talking with a quarterback, and they need leadership development just as much as they need throwing mechanics development. Quarterbacks have to know how to lead and lead well on and off the field. So, that's a part of what we're going to be adding in as well. But I'm very, very excited about just continuing to, we're 99% done with the curriculum, and we're very excited about it. Like, it is a great product that I'm stoked about.
Yeah, no, and I want to touch on a couple points that you said. I made some notes that I really want to focus on. The coolest thing about going over the internet is people think like, okay, well, I want to reach, you're in Jacksonville, Florida. I'm in Columbia, South Carolina. Okay, I want to reach the kids all over South Carolina. I want to reach kids all over Florida. I want to reach kids all over Southeast. there's a big world with a lot of, a lot of people playing football.
Yeah.
And, we've got connections in Brazil, in England, in Germany, that those kids, those are three of the fastest growing football countries in the world. And they don't have quarterback coaches on every block like they do here. Dude, 10 years ago, 12 years ago, when we were getting ready to go to college, there were no quarterback coaches. There was only the high profile guys that the NFL guys would see. You think about how fast the quarterback training industry has changed, even from when I started back in 2017 to now. It's scary, and so we have a really good opportunity to touch a lot of people's lives in you know getting the opportunity to watch somebody in Brazil or Germany grow and develop, and then maybe come to the States to play college because, we have the best football in the world here in the United States and the best college football, the best amateur football before professional.
Yeah.
So it's a really unique opportunity. So talk a little bit about what your thoughts are. And obviously, you were the one that originally broached that subject.
Yeah, I mean, we, just looking back to when we originally even had this, real conversations about starting this, it was brought to our attention because it is a huge need, and we want to fill that need. Of course, there's probably people out there doing similar things, but I'm a real big believer in providing a great service and a great development opportunity for quarterbacks that do not have somebody in need, somebody, and that can be in Brazil, Germany, wherever. And I know that, people want to talk about, well, there's plenty of information out there, but I want you guys to ask the question every single time you think about online quarterback training is, what did that person who's telling me what to do, what was their background? What did they do at one time? And I think that is a really good question you should ask even in-person training as well, just to make sure that you're getting high quality, regardless if it's us or with somebody else, making sure you know exactly what you're getting.
Yeah, who trained you? Who did you learn from, right? There a lot of times as a young trainer, young quarterback coach, you think just because you played at a high level or you played somewhere, you're the czar of quarterback knowledge, and that doesn't really mean that much. I think it's a combination of all of it. I think it's a combination of playing so you can share real life experience that is invaluable because very few people can share that. But then also the development. Who taught you? You listen to what Tom Brady talks about coverage identification. He just had the was it deep cuts, or he got the haircut, right?
Yeah.
And he talked about, quarterbacks now are playing checkers. When he played, he tried to play chess. He would say, okay, you've got a crossing concept on, but they give you cover two. Well, that crossing patterns aren't good versus zone coverage or cover two, right? Because you got 5 under 2 deep. Well, get into something that beats cover two. He says, don't snap the effing ball, right? Get into a play and that's what we were taught. We were taught, you have your play that's called, you have your alert, you either have your progression or you have your coverage read. And then if it didn't work, we had a cheat sheet. If we're in this formation, here are 2 plays versus cover 2 that I know in my back pocket. If push comes to shove, I can pull that out. I do the signal, change the protection, and here we go. We're off and running. I remember there was an example of this, and this is not to brag on me, but this is to brag on what we have to come and what we're going to be teaching. I remember it was my second career start. We were at LSU, and it was the first drive of the game. And I remember on 3rd and short, as most teams do, they would play man-to-man. Well, Coach Spurrier called a 2x2 bunch set, and he called curl flat on. Well, I know that with 2 press corners, curl flat's maybe not my best. You could probably win with the right receiver on a curl. Well, I checked the play where I gave the inside guy an inside fade, right, to work away with the bunch set, more field. And the outside guy kind of stuttered just to occupy the corner so the slot could take off and go. Took my steps, made a good throw, and hit a 50-yard gain. And it was my second career start, but it was because of the film and the preparation that I had going into the game, knowing that, okay, I have a play on, little suspect, need to get into a cover 1 beater, right? I know based off of my film study, they're going to show cover 1.
Yeah.
What can I do to get into a play that's going to beat it. That's our aspiration with what we're going to be sharing, what's going to be accessible in our portal.
Yeah.
And there's 10 modules. You touched on the leadership, but that, before I toss it back to you, there's so much more than just learning how to throw in coverage ID and then leadership, right? So go ahead and provide some thoughts, and I'm going to keep the ball in your court. Let you talk about, we're having 10 different, as we call them, modules. They're sections with a full 30, 40 different drill file that you can practice at home to help you get to the level that we got to, right? And help you get and start for your varsity team, start for your JV team, your middle school team, your Pop Warner team, right? So really unique experience.
Yeah, no doubt. And it all starts, honestly, I look at quarterbacks that start at 7 or 8 years old. It's a great age to get started in something like this, but it can be applicable to even the highest level of quarterback. But really geared towards that elementary to high school range for them to really develop and understand how to play the position at a high level. What I'm super excited about, like you said, 10 modules, drill file, all these different aspects of our program that we're going to offer. We're going to try to collect like mind, body, and spirit. We believe those three things can really help a quarterback get to the place that they want to get to, something that we have all incorporated in our playing days. And so yeah, it's very, very exciting for that. So mind, everything you can possibly think of obviously we touched on leadership, understanding how to even break down film, how to watch film, what our weeks look like. All those different things are great. You have your body, which is your footwork, all your mechanics, making different throws. So many videos, so many great content videos for those things. And then spirit, adding the devotions, adding some lifestyle tips to help you in your life and make sure that you are having the right mindset and going about your days, and what a great mindset for an elite athlete is, and all those things. So I'm pumped about that. I want to ask you, man, a lot of these guys listening will probably think like, okay, you guys might not have a huge following right this second on maybe YouTube, but we're a major company in the Southeast. Tell us about how it started with QB1 Athletics, and how quickly it has grown and got to the place it is now.
Yeah. So my quarterback coach, Kurt Roper, he's actually the current quarterback coach at NC State. It goes to show, I mean, we have connections of college coaches and the resources that we have. I mean, just a few moments ago, I was texting the South Carolina OC about a quarterback here in South Carolina that they're hot on. And it's not to brag and boast that we've got all these connections. It's just the reality of it. When you play at that level and now people know the reputation that we have created through our organization, it speaks for itself. So, he was the one, he said, when I retire from coaching, I'm going to train quarterbacks. And I was like, oh, do like private, like one-on-one lessons? He's like, yeah, like a baseball coach, you have a hitting lesson or a hitting coach, right? You should have a quarterback coach working on your form, because he's like, I want to get a quarterback at this level where I don't have to teach them to step to their target and keep their weight back. Like, I got to teach them the plays. I got to teach them how to pick up Sam Bullet and throw away from pressure and make sure they're throwing that seam right. And
Yeah.
got to be careful for that backside. There's so much that goes into it that I want to have somebody that I know has been trained properly. So I started training when I got done at South Carolina in 2017. And I used to talk about it all the time, with especially my first wave of quarterbacks. Now that was 7 years ago, which I want to hit my head on the wall thinking how fast time goes.
Yeah.
But I used to say, like, hey, you guys are going to coach with me one day. And sure enough, we've got, now you fast forward to 2024. I mean, you've been training since 2019.
Yeah. In Jacksonville. Yeah.
Scary. We've got Patrick in Greenville. We've got Jack Somprak in Knoxville, Tennessee. Jack was an intern for me in Columbia. Undergrad at South Carolina, I put out an opportunity for an internship to the sports management program at South Carolina. He applied. I saw he was an all-state quarterback in Tennessee. I said, well, shoot, this guy's perfect. Let alone, I don't need him to do like social media. I need him to coach with me.
Yeah.
And so he came aboard Bailey Hart down in Charleston. He just moved back to Charleston, actually spent some time working with Russell Wilson and his family. Crazy, crazy story. And he's starting to train, get back in the fold of QB1 Charleston. And so what we've done is we've taken the expertise that we've learned from all of these different coaches. But at the end of the day, the mission that we consistently share is we love free tuition. Our goal is to get kids and get them in a position to earn a scholarship. And that might be at the D1 level, that might be at the D2, D3, whatever it is. We want schools to get a hold of our guys and say they are well coached. And because of that, because they followed all the steps that we've given them, they're going to succeed and do really well, not only just in their football, but also in their life. I mean, I have now, because I have my own business now, I have, let's see, one, two, I have Marshall, Andrew, I've had Duncan, Jesse, and Trey. So I've had 5 of my former quarterbacks that I've trained are now working for me in my job.
Wow.
Right? You talk about leaving an impact, and I'm not like, that's just the reality. Like, they're reaching out to me saying, hey man, you look like you've got it figured out, which I don't, but you look like I want to follow. I like what you do. I like training quarterbacks. I want to help with QB1. I want to do the things that you're doing. That's really what it's all about. And that's what
Yeah.
we as an organization stand for, right? It's the same reason when kids come home to Jacksonville, they're training with you, right?
Yeah. Yeah, no, it's been amazing, man. And, just like you said, I've been doing it since 2019 and here in Jacksonville. And I have now currently I have one of my former quarterbacks training. We call it our Young Guns group, and then I have an intern coming from one of our college guys from Ohio Northern. Brennan Norris is going to be coming for the summer doing an internship, but he's fired up. He's about to go into his senior season up at Ohio Northern, and he's been ripping it, and he's ready to come train. We're trying to build that culture, and I know that our kids, the kids that we work with, know the culture of what QB1 athletics means. And so that's why this product of the QB1 experience is an extension of what QB1 athletics is. And it's that we care about the kids, we desire for them to grow and understand how to play the
Mm-hmm.
position at a high level. And we want to do everything we can to get that information to them, regardless of where they live or what. Because I get calls from people in Pennsylvania, Alaska, Texas, California, New York, and they say, "Are you going to have a camp in my area?" And guess what? Other people might be having camps in their area, but they see the product of what we produce. And I believe in what we're doing because we're doing it the right way. And I see the growth, and I'm excited to say to these people that are in all these states that, hey, it's coming in May. It's coming in
Right
May.
around the
We're
corner.
launching. So
Yeah, we're right around the corner and it's super exciting. So while we're talking about that, and we're talking about a launch here within the next probably 14 days, which is just amazing to think about. I mean, just unbelievable the work that's gone into it, the level of detail, the production, the videography, the modules, the recordings, everything is so well professionally done, guys. I'm not just boosting it because it's my product. I promise you, it is 100% legit. And the pricing behind it for an annual membership is going to be less than 2 or 3 in-person lessons with your local private instructor, coach, trainer, whatever you want to call it.
yeah,
But you're getting, I think we looked 360 videos, 360 videos with updated quarterly content. I
yeah.
mean, it doesn't get any better than that. And so actually I want to run down the list, and Evan, you can just share just a quick little 30-second, 2-second, whatever you want to do rundown. So we've got module 1, right? So I want you to just give us a quick little 30-second Cliff Notes version of each module. So we got module 1, which is quarterback leadership and expectation.
Yeah, man. So we filmed, like you said, and it was incredible. We had me, Perry, and Patrick McClure, who was a former Clemson quarterback, all discussed leadership topics, how we handled different situations in our playing days. We talked about our whys. We talked about the little fine details of what it takes, attributes of being a great quarterback, and what it takes to be a great leader. So, in that, and there's plenty more with that, listening to other college coaches, other college or NFL quarterbacks that talk about leadership and how they handle certain situations. So it's amazing.
Yeah. Module 2 is the game within the game. I'm going to touch on that. The game within the game is something that is, I think of myself in that, somebody that was undersized, maybe a little under athleticized, I guess, if that's the right proper term, playing in the SEC. It's the highest level of collegiate athletics you can do. And the reason why I was able to play at that level and have some pretty nice moments was the preparation, was the game that was played within the game. Was you're at center, you got crossing patterns turned on, you know that it's going to be cover 2 on 3rd and medium, or you're playing at LSU in your second career start, it's 3rd and 5, you know it's cover 1, you got a cover 3 beater on, you check, step up, make the throw because you've practiced it. And it's not just practiced it in game week. I was making those throws in February so I could make them in October.
Bingo. Right.
And that's the game within the game. That's the real life. I remember playing Tennessee. We had a 3-by-1 concept on. Okay. We had number 2 and 3. Okay. Had 2 slants. And number 1 had a 9 route, right? Press fade. The only time you ever threw that is if you really had cover 1 and they were playing heavy inside. You wanted to take a shot kind of as like an alert or a let's just toss it up and see what happens.
Yeah.
Well, they rolled late on 3rd and 8. They rolled late into a soft cover 2. And I couldn't throw the double slant, right? Because you run into Mike, you run into Sam. And I took a hitch step. I held that safety and I just threw a nice little 2-ball. I didn't rip it. I didn't try to overstride or overthrow. I just floated it right over the corner's head, right in front of the safety for like a 35-yard gain on 3rd and 8 in Knoxville against Tennessee. And it wasn't that, but it was the preparation in during the week. It was the hole shots that we threw at Alamacani in Jack's Beach for years, practicing throwing that hole shot. From the time we were 14 years old, we were throwing those passes, right? So when it came time to do it in a game, we were ready to go. So we break down cover all the way from cover 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, defensive line techniques, linebacker assignments, how to properly game prep. No one's doing that. Everyone's saying, okay, here's how you beat cover 6. Well, what's cover 6? Nobody's talking about that. Nobody's saying, here's how you beat 2-man. Nobody's going on and explaining to you defensive line techniques. So when you walk into your first varsity film meeting, they say, hey, when we have a low technique and a 5, we want to run inside zone to it. And you look at like 5, want shade, low. Well, no, we want you so ready to go that when you walk into your first varsity meeting or you're going into your first varsity start, you're as prepared as anybody. And then I'll toss it back to you. Module 3, we've got QB fundamentals, which, we have to have that because that's the baseline and the bare minimum of what we do.
Yeah, no doubt. I mean, there's so much that can go into those things, and like you said, we're going to be updating content monthly, quarterly. We're going to be continuously updating it. Quarterback fundamentals has everything to do with how you throw the football, how you run the football, like different techniques, all those different types of things, to make sure that you understand fully the right mechanics fundamentally to do the position at the high level.
Yeah, no, that's perfectly well said. And even on quarterback mechanics, right? You're looking at 12 videos right there. Then you talk about dominate the run game. Why do I need to know run game footwork? Well,
because it is just as important as coverage ID, man. You know why? Because you just explained it. If you need to know where to run the football to check to a certain side or go opposite, you need to understand what running play will work against what techniques or what defensive fronts or what they're bringing, blitz wise or anything. So that's what we've broken down through power, counter, inside, outside zone, speed option, all those things. and just dug into what they mean, how to run them at a high level. Got to see a bunch of college film. We're talking about it. I was really actually excited about some of the speed option stuff because I actually did a lot of that playing, and getting to talk through it without having to get hit is nice.
Yeah, I can't believe you didn't have my speed option here scoring against A&M. That's good. You guys are great. Just kidding. No, but I'm looking at almost 70 videos for run game. Guys, this is textbook throwing mechanics, right? Just an additional module of nothing more than how to throw a perfect spiral, how to mechanically, and these are real life drills that you're going to watch these and you can go home and practice it. And here's the thing that we'll continue to emphasize on our shows as you guys dive in. Doing it one time is not going to get you any better, right? I listen to a lot of different sports and business shows. Volume and activity. How many times are you going to do it and how often are you going to do it? If you do something often and a lot of times while doing it, eventually you're going to be at least good, right?
Yeah,
You might not be a Hall of Fame salesperson, but if you practice and you get in front of people, eventually you're going to be okay,
yeah,
right? It's about activity, repetition, and having the mental focus on and having the discipline to do what it takes for the extended period of time that you're working on it, because other people aren't going to do it. They're not
yeah.
going to do it.
I want to say something on that topic real quick. I want you guys to understand that you will not get something within a week. You're not going to get something within maybe even a couple weeks. It takes so much more time. I tell this to my quarterbacks in person all the time, that if you go home and you don't do anything about what we have talked about, it's pointless. So when you're
Yep.
looking through the drills, when you're looking through the modules and even studying coverage, get out a notepad, draw it up,
Yep.
write stuff down, do stuff that is going to help you memorize all of these things. So now when you're going out to your 7-on-7s and you're going out to your, scrimmages and practice, you have a great understanding because you didn't just view a module. This isn't YouTube. This isn't, Instagram Reels. Like, this is a playbook for you. It's a way to study. It's a study tool for you to understand the position. So take your time through it. Don't just burn through each video and be like, yeah, I know it. Like, no, go home and go to the field and picture what cover three looks like. Really grip the football the way we talked about. Really make sure your elbow doesn't drop. All those things. Like, video yourself. Be a pro at doing those things.
Yep. Yep. No, you're hitting the nail on the head right now. And I'm sitting here and just breezing through the curriculum, and you talk about that, and all this stuff is so cool, but you're like, man, like I gotta go to my laptop to get all this. No, sir. There's gonna be an app on your iPhone and Android that you can download right there. You just hold your phone. You're already gonna have your phone out at training, right? You could put your phone on the ground in front of you, lay out some cones, get somebody to catch and work on. You could have put it on a friggin' $10 iPhone tripod,
Yeah.
watch the video and practice and over and over and over again. And then when you go home and you're done, you've got, I mean, I haven't even touched on it yet. You've got, let's see, what did I say in the coverage file? I mean, you've got close to 100 videos of coverage breakdown, almost 70 videos of run game. You've got air raid, all things passing, quick game footwork, drop back, play action, throwing on the run, route tree, RPO, ball placement, screens, red zone, progressions. Then you go to the
Yeah.
drill fire, ladder drills, cone drills, off platform, movement, footwork drills. Then you got module 7, which is taking care of your body, the proactive care, warming up, dynamic warm up, recovery.
Yeah. You you go to any training session, nobody's understanding any of those things. You now have it on your phone that you can bring it and do all of the things that we have done, playing at a high level, and now you're doing those every single time you step on the field. That's awesome.
Then Then to wrap it up, you've got nutrition guide, workout training programs. So we are going to supply a Division 1 level nutrition guide that the elite athletes of Division 1 football are working on, along with a training program. I mean, and then, in my opinion, the most important part, as you probably will agree, we're going to talk about our faith. We're going to talk about our devotions and how having a relationship with the Lord helped and was the reason we got to the level that we got to, because you faced some tough times in your career. Patrick, golly, poor guy, had injury after injury. I faced struggles in my career getting benched in the middle of my senior year, right? What what are some of the things that you want to share about, we have it as module 8, the quarterbacks for Christ, that you want to focus on, that you're excited for the kids to have access to?
Yeah, I mean, obviously a big part of my journey. The Lord has given me an opportunity to play at the level that I did, and with a lot of struggle to even get there. But He pulled me through, and so now this is a way to help those kids who don't have somebody to go to, which most likely 90% don't have somebody to go to, and learn about specific actual events. How do you handle certain situations? How do you handle losing a big game? How do you handle throwing a pick to lose the big game? I mean, so many
Yeah,
different things. And then having scripture to back it up, scripture from the Bible to talk through and help you get through those certain situations. And we have our testimonies on there, how we came to know the Lord, and how He's changed our life, and maybe how He can change yours. We're not trying to convince anybody that Jesus is, whatever you might think He is, but all we can say is from our experience and what He's done in our life, and then what I believe He can do in your life.
yeah, and I think it's really cool too, because even if you talk to people that are not Christian, the Christian values and the way that Jesus lived his life is something that even atheists believe that you should model your life after, right?
Yeah,
So this is not going to be a jam down your throat and give us tithe money, right? This is,
yeah,
we're going to provide you our testimony, let you hear how He affected us, and then hear how we used our faith to propel us into a life of significance and a life of impacting others and a life of that's fulfilling. Like, we're both married. I know Patrick's working on it at the moment. We're both married. You've got 2 kids. I've got 1.
yeah,
There's so much more to life than the game of football, and making sure that you're properly aligned, it will take your career to the next level. I played better when I was more spiritually aligned. I felt better when I was more spiritually aligned. And if you do those things and you work on all the other 10 modules in the drill file and you buy into what we are offering, you will see significant improvement. I can't guarantee that you'll play in the SEC or you'll play in the Sun Belt or you'll play in the ACC, but I can guarantee you one thing: you're going to give yourself the absolute best chance to play at the highest level that you can play, because that's it. None of us had NFL careers.
yeah,
We have friends that are playing in the NFL. I would love to play in the NFL, but that just wasn't my calling. But you know what? I'm able to use the game of football in my calling to now help you guys, and that's what we're super excited about.
yeah, no doubt. I'm very, very excited. It kind of makes me like, just amped to know that young quarterbacks are going to understand fully what it takes and understand fully the process and whatever they need to do in order to play at a high level or play to the very best potential that they have within them, and see their success on the field and off the field, and hear the success stories down the road. So I'm pumped, dude. Let's go. I can't
Yeah,
believe we are so close. And man, let's get it.
just touching up the little final like IT things, making sure the back ends and everything's working. So if somebody goes to access it, they actually get to it. So It's coming soon, man. So, guys, we are so excited. I hope that today's podcast of introing, and I know it was more of a sales pitch, but I think there were some really great nuggets in what we've discussed, that our goal is to make you the best player and person that you can be. If you follow the modules that we've laid before you and you go through it, but don't just try to complete it. Like, take your time. There's plenty of time in the years to go and access all of the different things. And just because you watch cover two video 2 or 3 times doesn't mean it's going to stick into your brain, right?
Yeah.
And we're going to continue to update content, right? So you're going to have a whole 360 plus curriculum that you'll have access to. Then when football season rolls around, we're going to be supplying the curriculum with real time footage of things that are going on in current events in the game of football, whether it be college, D1, D2, NFL. We're going to be breaking down highly important plays, quarterback performance, discussing what certain offenses are doing, and why some are successful, why some aren't. It's going to be a really, really fun journey that for a fee that is honestly less than a tank of gas in your vehicle. It's remarkable.
Yeah, no doubt. The one thing I do want to share, make sure everybody understands that one of our levels of membership will have you will have the ability to send in footage of your throwing mechanics or whatever, and we can break it down. So it can be like an online interactive training. It's not just here's this curriculum, go through it, we're going to continue to update. There is those levels, which is great. But those people who do not have somebody actively looking at their form, there is an option for you as well. So like you said, affordable, unbelievable product. I'm super excited. It's a product that I'd be proud of to give to my son, who I do have a son, but he's in 7 years from now he'll be utilizing it. But I'm proud of it, and I'm excited for you guys to get a hold of it.
Yeah, no, I'm looking forward to, man. What a great discussion talking about the curriculum as we conclude our 5th episode of the podcast. Great stuff, man. I'm so excited and proud of the work that we've done. And boy, I can't wait till we get back on next week. Make sure that you subscribe to our page. The more subscribers we get, the more opportunities we get in front of more people through shorts, through YouTube promoting us through their algorithms. And the reason is because we have a message to be shared that kids will benefit, because more kids are like us than are like either the crazy superstars that are just so naturally gifted they don't really need, they don't claim to think they need anything, right? They're more of the kids that have to grind their entire life to reach the level of success that we hope that they get to. And we're excited. So subscribe to the page. Get ready for some great content next week. Patrick will be back, and we should have another guest on. And Evan, you got anything to close us out?
No, follow our page on Instagram as well. Looking forward to it. Be looking out for the promo video, and then the thumbs up from us on the socials that we are launched.
Yeah, looking forward to it. See you.